Let's dig right in now into our themes that we have for 2024. The first thing that we want to let investors know is that it is a highly consensus view that the economy will have this perfect soft landing. The Fed will start cutting interest rates. Some analysts expect 4, 5, even 6 interest rate cuts this year. This is a highly consensus view. And what scares us about consensus views is that they often get crowded and they can be misguided for investors. Our first theme is that soft landing is not a sure thing. The economy is slowing. We are seeing that. We had a great year last year from an economic standpoint, but if you look outside of the labor market and the consumer, there's still many areas of the economy that are weakening. The other thing that we're concerned about is that the Federal Reserve and its tight monetary policy always acts with a lag. And what you can see in this chart is that the real Fed funds rate, when you take into consideration inflation, is just now turning restrictive. It's above the historical average. That means that we haven't fully felt the effects of the most aggressive tightening cycle that we've had since the 70s and 80s. We haven't felt those full effects yet. You combine that with tighter conditions at banks because of the small and mid-cap banking crisis earlier in 2023. This is a combination for tighter monetary conditions, and we don't think that's felt in the economy, and we don't think it's reflected in that consensus view. Now, let's touch on the labor market and the consumer, which are two of the things that really kept the economy supported last year. The consumer is starting to show signs of weakness. The spending has been on credit cards. We're looking at credit card debt growing at a double-digit annual pace. They're doing this at the same time that credit card rates are near record highs. This is simply not sustainable. The labor market has been that strong suit, but we're starting to see some cracks emerge. Not only is the pace of job hirings slowing, but you're starting to see some of the indicators that we get before we see the rise in interest rates. They're starting to materialize. Think about temporary workers. We're seeing declines in temporary workers. Think about the number of hours that workers work. This is declining. We've seen a pretty big fall off in household employment as well. These things tend to lead the increase in the unemployment rate, and we're starting to see these things materialize. So we think it's going to be a very challenging year for not only the consumer, but the labor market. And so we don't think this soft landing that everybody's banking on is a sure thing.